Okay, welcome guys.
Hello guys. Another video, and obviously the talk of the week has been the Ryzen release, and we've just put up some points here on the computer that we're going to discuss, clarify some things, and let's just get started. I guess.
First question I have to you and to you: is Ryzen 7 a gaming CPU? No.
No, I mean it
can be used for gaming.
It can be used, in my opinion, it's a productivity CPU that is also, in my opinion, good for gaming. It's not as good.
It's not the gaming CPU.
It's not as good, and obviously there is issues with motherboards, BIOS, hyperthreading, or SMT, as they call it. And it can only get better. So the scenario is now that you're seeing the worst case scenario for AMD and the best case scenario for Intel.
Yeah, and I guess AMD, although they originally pitched Ryzen 7 against the Intel 2011 processors, this 68 and 6850 and 69, but towards the launch, they also started pitching it against. Well, they didn't pitch it against Kaby Lake. They
not Kaby Lake.
Pitched it against the 6800K.
They were saying the IPC was on par with Broadwell E.
Yeah.
And well, in productivity, it is.
Yeah.
It's more or less win some, lose some.
Yeah.
It's there and thereabouts.
Yeah.
The problem is, obviously, the community has gone crazy. It's a bit of a frenzy on here on YouTube when it comes to the gaming parts, and then they're comparing it to the 7700K, which is, well, the fastest gaming processor you can. You can get your hands on today.
Yeah.
And you can obviously clock it to 5 gigahertz, 4 or 8 pretty easily.
Yeah.
And then most people put on YouTube on the testing, so they have it at 5, and you're comparing it to a brand new architecture that clocks to, say around 4 if you're lucky.
Yeah, so we agree. It isn't like comparing apple to oranges, but the Ryzen 7 is not primarily a gaming CPU.
I think it's a good gaming CPU as is.
It does okay.
It's not the best, but, and that's a bit of the issue I have with not the tests, and you can see it's like 10, 15, 20% slower in some games, on the frame rates, but it's the way people slate the results. It's very disappointing. It's crap.
Don't buy it.
Yeah, and that's being too harsh. Way harsh. I mean, the process has been up for 3-4 days now.
Yeah, and okay, I guess there are quite a few gamers around who's just that. That's the only thing they do on their computer is gaming, and I understand that if that's the only thing you do on your computer, gaming. Yeah. Then you're better off with a Kaby Lake's 77.
Of course. If that's the only thing you do, you turn on your computer and you start gaming.
Yeah.
But I think once for productivity, Ryzen now, I mean, it's the 1700 looks like a steal.
Yeah, and although we've been saying this for quite a few years now, we've been waiting for games to be able to take advantage of more cores and. There has been some development last few years, but there's still a lot of work to be done. If you can compare any game and compare it to, like, say, Premiere Pro or any like productivity programs, you'll see the difference. And I think that maybe the introduction of Ryzen will push the game developers to take advantage of more cores. If they do, that would be a good thing.
I think that's it's going to happen. It's already happening to a certain extent. You see now Battlefield 1 does utilize more cores. and I think that has to do with the consoles, the PlayStation and the Xbox now have 8-core processors. So the game developers, they I suppose it's a learning curve. I mean, they need to learn how to program for more cores, I suppose. Yeah. But once they crack that code, that's going to be more important in the future. And then you can only speculate when that is. Is it going to be next year? Is it going to be 3 years?
Yeah, but anyway, when you buy into a system, when you buy a CPU and a motherboard, for most people that's an investment that at least going to last them 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah.
So we can hope, and I do think that game developers will work towards taking advantage of more cores.
I think so. So I think, and it can only get better from what we're seeing now.
Yeah. But we also have to mention others, which I see as standard startup problems. They released a brand new socket and a brand new series of processors, and of course there will be some troubles and issues. We've seen them mostly with the motherboard's BIOS.
Yeah, the ASUS boards seem to be
the biggest sinner so far.
They seem to be. That's why, I mean, you're seeing all these tests and stuff and reviews, and they're all over the place.
Biggest problem seems to be with RAM timings.
Yeah, RAM timings, and I see the issues with the hyper-threading.
Hyper-threading as well.
So I think Windows needs to patch for the new architecture. Game developers need to also develop. You bound to see some updates on games to better utilize the new architecture, and it can only get better.
I'm not worried. I myself bought the i7 2600K on Sandy Bridge and the Sandy Bridge motherboard the week it was released.
Yeah.
And if you do remember, Sandy Bridge had a lot of issues, and I had to actually replace my motherboard within 4 months, I think, because Intel had to recall every single Sandy Bridge socket they released. So it's not like AMD is the only one who needs some issues.
And I think maybe I guess the best thing they could have done was to delay the launch about a month to iron out these kinks, but
no, they stuck with it, and the issues that I've seen so far, they can be overcome.
Yeah, and I suppose that's one of the reasons to send it out to all these reviewers and stuff, is to get the feedback that they might have not thought of themselves. So to me now, it's looking like a really good process.
And of the three, we are the biggest fan of the 1700 non-X.
Yes.
Because it's the one of the out of the three, it's the one with 65 TDP, so it's basically a cooler CPU.
Cooler CPU, and
it only does 3 gigahertz base turbos to 3.7.
7, I think. Yeah.
But the reviews are starting to tick in now on the 1700. It was the last one out when reviewers, because reviewers jumped on the 1800X and 1700X, but. People are running it easily, it seems, to 3.9 gigahertz.
On air.
Even on air. And there have been reviews clocking to 3.9 on the Wraith cooler.
I've seen that too.
So, which I wouldn't recommend, by the way.
No.
So the 1700 priced, we shouldn't mention the 7700K, but it's priced approximately the same as that one.
Yeah, a little bit lower, I think. Slightly lower.
Double number, of course, and for productivity, it is by far the best choice from the three.
And now, in not the very distant future, we're gonna have a 1700 on our hands, and we're gonna do some testing. We're gonna do a build video, I guess.
Yeah, clocking.
We're quite new at this, so leave your comments if there is anything you want us to test, really. And I see we're getting comments. You see that? So you did very well with that one.
Keep them coming.
Keep comments coming, and we'll do our best. I mean, we're a small little channel. Not too many people know about us at all. So we can test stuff that maybe other people wouldn't bother with. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. And today we're not mentioning Nokia.
I've been waiting the whole...
We're not mentioning Nokia.
So I can't speak about Nokia.
Nokia. No Nokia.
All right.
Bye-bye. See you.